So it's been a hot minute, thought it was time to do a little face mask with Jack, so let's put on our face masks. Y'all know how I feel about a good face mask. It is a very necessary part of my routine. It's just a little me time, a little self-care. Now I love doing these little face masks with Jack vids because I feel like it's a chance to kind of strip things back, just have a little heart to heart with you guys, and just talk about things that I think are important. So you better be following along. Go pause the video, go get your face mask, start applying it. It's like we're at a sleepover together. Now I'm using a clay mask because it is summer and I'm a lot sweatier this time of year. So I feel like a clay mask is just really refreshing and a good way to draw out any impurities. So I'm just slathering that on. Beautiful. Absolutely love it. Okay, so today I wanted to talk all things confidence and feeling good about yourself and really just, leaning into your authentic self and not changing for anyone. I'm super excited to share that this video is actually brought to you by Aldo Shoes. I was super excited to partner up with them because they have this new campaign called Step Into Love, where they really are focusing on confidence, having those conversations, and like I said, leaning into your authentic self and how that actually really garners more connection to the people around you. It's all about stepping forward with what you believe in, stepping together to make a difference with one another, and stepping into our values to make the world a better place. It's so true. It's something that I try to live by. So I thought I would sit down, put on a face mask and really just chat about my experiences with, lacking of self-confidence at sometimes, feelings of insecurity, and really just share the experiences I feel that have made me who I am and where I am today. Now, I've always believed that you should be able to, express your true self and, be who you want to be, as cheesy as it sounds. I do believe in that. And I just genuinely think that authenticity reigns superior in every avenue of life, whether it's, personal relationships in your life, just, being confident with yourself, with work, being truly who you are and not putting on a facade for someone or acting how you think you have to act. None of that stuff resonates and it's not gonna work and people can see right through that. And it also doesn't feel good. So I truly do believe, being who you are intuitively, it's something that you don't have to think about and overanalyze, just what comes naturally to you. And I definitely feel lucky to be at a place now where I feel like I can be that way. I mean, I feel like overall, throughout my life, I've always inherently been that way. But there was many times, more of my teenage years when I was dealing with personal insecurities like acne. I feel like I've talked about acne so many times and that honestly was a huge barrier to feeling self-confident. And I definitely struggled with it the most probably around 16 to 18-ish. And it completely tore down my self-confidence. And it was so frustrating to me at the time because I felt like I had this inner confidence. I was confident with who I was, and I know I'm a little bit of more of a quirky person. I hate when people say that word, but I know I'm a little zesty sometimes, but I was always very confident in my personality and who I was on the inside. And for the most part, I felt like I grew up being a confident person also with my appearance. And that's not meaning that you think you're perfect, but it's also accepting just who you are and the certain flaws. And again, that's another word I hate, but all those little things that make you who you are. So it was really frustrating to all of a sudden at 16 be struck with this like crippling insecurity of being like, oh my gosh, I can't leave the house. And it felt so frustrating to me because it almost seemed superficial and very vain because I was like, oh, it's just pimples. Like I should be able to get over it. It's such a physical thing. Like that's so, superficial of me to be so caught up over it. But the reality is, especially, it doesn't matter what your insecurity is, it can seem so minimal to other people, but to you it is valid and can seem like the biggest deal, and I get it. And the reality is, in my situation, although of course acne is not the end of the world and a lot of us experience it, it still is a medical skin condition and it's something that I just felt so at a loss for. So I don't know, at that time I felt so, I hate this word, but like truly hideous. And it was definitely one of those things that I feel like affected my personality, which that's when I knew it was kind of going over the line of, oh, it's just something that I'm not really like, I don't like my skin, but it was beyond that. It was, okay, now I'm choosing not to go out places because I'm so insecure of how I look. And I just didn't feel myself. Now, I feel like one of the greatest questions that people have is, how do you overcome insecurity? It's so easy for people to just be like, oh, just get over it. It doesn't matter. Obviously, that doesn't fix everything. And it, sounds good in practice. Just get over it. But it's way deeper than that. There is way too many layers to just get over insecurities. Again, it doesn't matter how superficial, how silly or small it may seem. There are a lot of things that I do now that I feel like promote self-love, and for me, self-love and confidence are very tied together, because if I love who I am and I genuinely like honor my body and who I am and accept it and embrace it, that is completely tied to feeling confident in my skin, because if I love myself, then I'm obviously going to feel confident in what I am. So I really do love to do lots of things in my routine that, you know, promote wellness and self-care, whether it's simple things like putting on a face mask and honoring my skin even when I'm having breakouts and it kind of triggers me back to how I felt when I was 16 struggling with way worse acne. Or it's doing other activities to promote self-love, like, you know, doing yoga, stretching my body, feeling good in it. It's, you know, getting to bed on time and getting 8 hours of sleep. Little things like that that are truly the basic human necessities, like sleeping well, drinking enough water, eating a variety of healthy foods, but not restricting yourself to only eating healthy foods. All of these little things I feel like promote feeling good. I think there's a lot of little things that people don't realize that they do that actually slowly chip away at your self-confidence. And it's little things like having negative self-talk or saying, you know, just rude things to yourself that you would never say to someone else. Like, oh, I look so gross today, or ew, I look so fat in these jeans. Little things like that. Even if you're just thinking them in your head and not even verbalizing them, you still feel that. Your brain knows. It's thinking those things. And it's really a horrible way to treat yourself. And again, if you're not going to treat any other human like that, why would you treat yourself like that? Why don't you get to be at the same standard that everyone else is? It's truly so sad. And I feel like, I mean, I don't want to be like, let's dismantle society, but I feel like society, especially, not that it is specific to females, but typically it is driven towards females. We're marketed towards, typically based off of insecurity, to buy new products, to feel better, to tell you that you're not good enough. So we're constantly having these thoughts coming from us on every angle. Why do we need to do that to ourselves internally as well? We need to truly break the cycle and change things. And I feel like this was a conversation. I was actually talking about Instagram filters. I posted a video maybe about a month and a half ago now. I'll link it up above. But even just the whole idea of, only using filters and photoshopping yourself all the time, those are things that subconsciously, I think, slowly strip away your self-confidence and make you more insecure. And that's a whole other side problem within itself. And again, I don't have all the answers to it, but it's being more intentional, I think, with your actions and what you do on a day-to-day basis that promote a healthier mindset. I feel like this conversation also leans, I was talking a little bit of like nutrition, obviously drinking enough water, those basic things, but also exercise and food doesn't need to be in an extreme way. I think everything with balance is truly key. And, not punishing yourself if you ate a cupcake or indulged in a cookie or just were living life and not thinking about what you're eating. I think it's a really negative mindset and cycle to have if you're like, oh, okay, now I've got to go on a run for 3 hours to burn off those calories. Or, any behavior where you're punishing yourself, I feel like is not coming from a positive place. And that's not to say don't work out and be healthy and try to make positive food choices, but it's also about just living your life and trying not to overthink those things. And again, changing your mindset to, oh my gosh, what an amazing cupcake this is. I love it. It's so good. Yeah, you're not going to eat cupcakes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but having a cupcake at the end of the day it's not a bad thing. That's actually sounds amazing if you're asking me. But it's all of those little things that I feel like really just add up and contribute to you feeling overall not so great about yourself or feeling great about yourself. And again, it has nothing to actually do with your outward appearance or what clothes you're wearing or any of that. Sure, there's something to be said with, having a shower and feeling hygienic and feeling a bit cleaner and good. Of course, all those little things are a different part of it, but truly inner happiness and self-confidence that comes completely from the inside. It is not dependent on any of those external things. And it's really sad to me to look back to those times in my life where I was definitely dealing with those insecurities because, well, one, I was just so mean to myself, and it actually, I want to go back and talk to 16-year-old Jaclyn and give my head a shake and just be like, what are you doing? Why are you talking about yourself in that way? Why are you writing mean things down in your journal about yourself? It truly is so sad. It really is. Oh, and speaking of journaling, that's another thing that I like to do. Journaling to write down my thoughts, how I'm feeling. But again, you're talking about how you're feeling. I don't want to say like everything has to be positive, because that's obviously not the goal. The goal isn't to have peak happiness and amazing positivity all the time. We're human, we're going to experience emotions, but it's also about handling those times when you're not feeling so great. Sure, identifying it, but then having a positive, system in place to kind of deal with it. So another thing that I like to do is practice gratitude. And I feel like sometimes when I say all these things, it sounds a little like airy-fairy, like, okay, like write some things you're grateful for. But truly, those little things, again, whether consciously or subconsciously, they do have an impact on your mindset. And I think a lot of things in life also do come back to gratitude and being grateful for the small things. And they can be as anecdotal and small as, oh my gosh, I had the best coffee today, or oh, I had an amazing sleep, or oh my gosh, I had the funniest dream. It made me so happy when I woke up. And I like to do a little gratitude journal and just write down, it takes like literally 4 minutes in the morning. Write down 3 things I'm grateful for, 3 things I'm looking forward to in that day, and 1 powerful kind of I am statement. So I am outgoing and can talk to people easily. That can be something. Just a little small thing to just remind you of how awesome you are, and to, again, just start your day off on a positive note. So I really do believe that all of those things really contribute to staying in a good mental place and feeling confident. And really all of these little things are so interconnected. It's like a giant spider web, and they all somehow relate to one another. Now, something else that I wanted to talk about, especially with my journey to self-confidence, I feel like it wouldn't be fair to not acknowledge the way that I was raised. And I feel like I really do owe a lot of my confidence to my mom, especially. I feel like ever since I was young, she instilled that mindset within me, and to embrace who I am and to be proud of who I am, and to not tone down my personality or dilute myself just to fit into whatever box that was socially acceptable. So I really do owe a big thank you to her, and both my parents, both my mom and my dad, for helping set up the framework for confidence and self-positivity. So of course, I do think there's a big correlation to who you surround yourself with, and sure, the way that you were raised. But that being said, I also don't want to say that in a way that's going to discourage people. If you grew up in a household and say one of your parents maybe was actually super negative towards whether you or hindered your self-confidence, I don't want you to feel like now finding personal inner confidence is going to be impossible because I didn't have that growing up. That's not the case. Sure, I think having that growing up can help support it and can be a really great foundation, but I still think there are a ton of strategies and ways to overcome any of those insecurities that you did have growing up. And again, it all comes back to those healthy practices that you do on the daily. It's not about taking an hour out of every day to do this crazy intense thing. It's the subtleties in your everyday behaviors, from looking in the mirror instead of having that thought of, oh wow, my skin looks gross today. It's, oh my gosh, look at how healthy I look today. Little things like that. And it's truly like a muscle. And I feel like the more that you practice it, the easier that it comes, and the easier that it is just a part of your everyday being. I really do feel like confidence is also something that if you don't have it, or you feel like you have a lot of insecurities, my favorite quote that I feel like I always come back to is fake it till you make it. And what I mean by that is, sure, not everyone is the most 100% exudes confident kind of person, but a great way to start is to pretend like you are. Pretend like you are this confident person, and look up in the mirror and be like, wow, this is fabulous. And just have a little pep talk to yourself. And even if you don't believe it, I don't care if you don't believe it or not, say these positive things and it will slowly sink in. And tell yourself, wow, Jaclyn, I think you are a very talented artist, and I think you are really creative. And I think also the way that you speak to yourself should not be exclusive to, again, outward or physical appearance. I think, complimenting yourself internally for your intelligence, how outspoken you can be, how hardworking you are, more of those internal things, I feel like, I know I place more value on that. So if I'm talking to myself, whether in my head or literally talking to myself out loud in a mirror, that definitely has a lot more weight to me than just being like, oh, you look cute today, And again, talking about all this, I do want to be realistic, and I don't want to lie and be like, oh, I don't have low moments still. Of course, it's natural to wake up, be having an off day and be like, ugh, I'm not feeling myself today. I think the problem starts when those days are more frequent than the days where you are feeling good and happy and confident. And I think it's totally fair to also talk to other people, whether it's someone in your family or friend circle that you trust, whether talking to a therapist to overcome any barriers that you've had. There truly are so many different strategies to work on self-confidence. And I really think that I think of a lot of different things in my life, and if I actually scale it all back, it kind of all comes back to some sort of confidence, of whether I felt confident to go up and go into that big meeting, or I, traveled to this place by myself for the first time, but I was feeling confident enough to do so, and I believed in myself. And again, it's all tied together. So I definitely think that there is a ton of value in working on your self-confidence, and there's never like an end point or an end goal. It's something that you continually, I feel like, can grow with and evolve and work on and be better at. And there's so many ways that I even feel like I can honor myself more and treat myself kinder. At the end of the day, confidence is truly so attractive in friendships and relationships and just being around other people. It definitely is contagious. And if you're exuding confidence, I know it definitely lifts up other people around you as well. So it's definitely something very important to me. And I mean, it seems silly to say, it's just something I believe in, but it really is. Self-confidence is truly key. And I hope that this conversation inspires you to reframe your thinking, or even to share down below in the comments something that you do on the daily or weekly to help practice self-love and self-confidence. Let me know what you like to do, because I always like to learn like new strategies or just hear what other people do, or maybe share, if you're comfortable, an insecurity that you've had and how you work to overcome it. I feel like being vulnerable and having these conversations, it really is, it's what connects people to one another. And I hope that if anything, this just reminds you that we are all human, we all experience these emotions, you're not alone. And if you are in a place where you're feeling low, that only means you have so much more room for growth and so many great things are on the horizon. So like I said, please hop down below in the comment sections. I love to make the community in the comments on these videos to be a very positive place to have healthy discussions, and I'll do my best to kind of hop back in the comments and reply and chat with all of you. I feel like the community on here and all of you subscribers are just, you're very intelligent people, and whenever I see your thoughtful comments, it really does make me, I feel like a proud mama or something. I'm like, oh, my little babies, look at all these amazing conversations everyone's having. And you all truly inspire me to be the best version of myself. So thank you to you guys. And also huge thanks again to Aldo Shoes for challenging me to talk about all of this stuff and to really open the conversation about confidence. If you want to learn more about Aldo and the campaign that they're doing, I'll leave a link down below so you can check out their website. Okay, it is officially time to rinse off this face mask. I'm starting to get cracks in my forehead. Can you see that? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, follow. Subscribe, did I already say that? You know what to do, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!